Public drama, wife fake split, done. A man, invite all, cheer. She gasps. Can you imagine being publicly humiliated by your own partner, then realizing that moment wasn't a mistake, but a calculated declaration of war? Because that's exactly how my marriage started to unravel, right there in front of a crowded restaurant. The air in that cozy Italian spot, usually buzzing with happy anniversaries, suddenly felt thin, suffocating. The clinking of cutlery, the soft murmur of conversations, it all became a backdrop to the acid building in my gut. My wife, Eleanor, had just clinked her glass, a tight smirk pulling at her lips. To my husband, she'd announced, her voice dripping with mock affection, he's not romantic, but he's reliable. Like a decent lawnmower. Doesn't excite anyone, but hey, it starts. Her friend, Jessica, slapped the table, wheezing with laughter. Even the waiter pretended to be deaf. But I saw Eleanor's eyes, cool, measuring, not a drunken slip. This was a test. I slowly set my glass down. Cute, I told her, my voice low. Here's my toast, respect is not optional. If you're bored, change your hobbies, not your mouth. The laughter died, a sudden, jarring silence. Eleanor's eyebrow twitched. She took a slow sip, then waved the waiter over for dessert, acting like I wasn't even there. If I'd known then where it was truly headed, I swear, I would have skipped that damn cannoli and started packing my bags that very night. The next morning, I cooked eggs, drank my coffee black, and watched her scroll through her phone at the kitchen counter, like she was renting the space by the minute. About last night, I started, trying to keep my voice even. She didn't even glance up. Oh, boy. Feelings? You were fine. Everyone laughed. Don't be so fragile. Her words were a dismissive wave. I'm not fragile, I said, my voice sharper than I intended. I'm setting a rule. You don't turn me into a prop in front of people. You want comedy? Try open mic night. She finally closed her phone, her eyes locking onto mine. Don't threaten me with your rules. We're grown. Relax. I am relaxed, I countered. And that weekend trip? I'm moving it. I'll be at Michael's garage on Saturday. You can do your own thing. She blinked. We planned wine country. We planned. You used past tense on my dignity, I stated, simply. Plans change. Her jaw set. You're punishing me. No, I corrected. I'm adjusting access. I grabbed a paper towel and used it as a coaster, knowing she hated rings on the counter. I'm freezing the joint extras. Groceries and house bills stay. Spa days and impulse deliveries? They pause until we recalibrate. Excuse me? You're not my father, she snapped. Good, I said, meeting her stare. I said I wouldn't take that job. She shoved her stool back. You know what? Girls' dinner tonight at our place. You can show off your new rules. Host it somewhere else, I replied, my gaze flat. I'm not interested in being the entertainment. She grabbed her bag. Then don't be. Try silence. You might nail it. I let her walk away, then immediately texted Michael, move Saturday's barbecue to your place. Not mine. No explanations. He sent a thumbs up and a question mark. I didn't answer. If Eleanor wanted an audience, she wasn't getting my house as a stage. At lunch, David, my coworker, poked his head into my office. You look like a guy who traded cable for rabbit ears, he quipped. I traded peace for proof, I sighed. Rough night? Test pattern at dinner? He asked, picking up on my mood. I'm not playing along anymore. He offered his couch, but I shook my head. I'm good. I'm changing the rules, not running. He tapped the door frame. Rules are good if you enforce them. He wasn't wrong. And I had a whole list in my head, ready to go. Saturday at Michael's garage smelled like oil, old records, and the comfort of genuine friendship. Michael, a blunt, union electrician, always said what he meant. He rolled a creeper across the floor, stopping near me. "You moved the barbecue," he noted. "That's new." "Control the terrain," I answered, wiping grease from a wrench. "Today is about breaks and burgers, and maybe not letting my life turn into open season." He tossed me a rag. "You finally mad?" "No," I said, a deep calm settling over me. "I'm done being interesting to the wrong people." Eleanor was late, of course. When she arrived, she wore that soft sweater she reserved for apologies, her face carefully composed, like she'd practiced it in a mirror. Jessica was right behind her, carrying a store-bought pie like a trophy. Jessica wrinkled her nose. "This place needs a candle," she muttered. "It needs fewer tourists," Michael grumbled back, turning up the radio. Eleanor floated over, her hand landing softly on my shoulder. "Hi, baby," she cooed. "About the joke." "I went too far." "You did?" I asked, my voice devoid of emotion. She hurried on. I was nervous. Everyone was married or getting engaged. I panicked and made light. "I shouldn't have." "Noted." Just one word. She blinked. "That's it?" "Noted." "You wanted acknowledgement." "You got it." "I'm not writing an essay." Jessica cut in, "He's sulking." I slowly wiped my hands. "Jessica, you're out of your lane." Michael barked a laugh, then coughed to cover it. Eleanor's voice softened again, a practice performance. "Let me make it up. I'll handle dinner. I'll fix the budget this week." "You hate spreadsheets," I pointed out. "I don't hate spreadsheets," I replied, looking directly at her. "I hate confused money. Here's how it's going: separate checking for you. Separate for me. Joint stays for bills. We both see it all. I'll set it up Monday. No more guessing." Her eyes thinned to slits. "So, I'm on an allowance now?" "No," I said, "you're on clarity." "So am I." Jessica nudged Eleanor. "See? He wants control." Classic. I stared at Jessica until she looked away, then I turned back to Eleanor. Classic is friends who eat your food and talk like they pay your mortgage. News for you, they don't. Eleanor lifted her palms in a gesture of surrender. Okay. You win. We'll try it your way." "We're not trying," I stated. "We're doing." "Monday morning. I'll send the routing info." She pasted on a smile. "Great teamwork." She kissed my cheek, light and rehearsed. The first illusion of change, right on schedule. I didn't melt. I passed her the spatula and let her flip burgers like a truce token. Later that afternoon, Jessica, perched on a folding chair, announced, "Game night next weekend. Everyone's coming at your place. We'll do charades. Eleanor is a riot." Eleanor glanced at me, a hopeful, pleading look. "Fun?" "No," I replied instantly. "I'm done hosting shows. If you want to play, book a venue without my name on the deed." Jessica scoffed. "Wow, someone's cranky." "Someone's done," I corrected her. "Michael, you on grill or me?" Michael reached for the tongs. "I got it," he said, a glint in his eye. "And I'll keep score. 1 boundary, 0 drama." Eleanor's S. Mile flickered, but she recovered quickly. "Okay, not at our house then. We'll do it at Sarah's rooftop. Better view anyway." The move was fast, strategic. She kept the plan, changed the place, preserving her audience. Fine. At least it wasn't my place. I didn't argue. I took a bite of my burger and established the next rule. One more thing, I said. Hosting aside, I'm not a default ride or wallet. If you're going somewhere, arrange it. I'm not on call. She tilted her head, her eyes mocking me quietly as she clinked her cup against mine. Noted. The sarcasm was sugar-coated, but I took the hit and held my posture. She'd adjusted to the rule. She hadn't accepted it. That was the point. The night ended without a blow-up, which was suspicious on its own. On the way out, Michael handed me a small metal box, spare keys, a place to drop a thumb drive. Don't tell me why, he said, his gaze serious. Just don't wait. I slid it into my jacket. I won't. The week that followed, the house felt like a hotel lobby, chilled and impersonal. No good mornings, no real check-ins. The only messages were terse coordinates: pick up almond milk. Your shirts are in the dryer. She timed conversations like cardio, 10 minutes and done. When I sat beside her on the couch one evening, she didn't move, just kept scrolling, lips pressed tight. I muted the TV. We're still married, I said, breaking the silence. We can sit like people who live in the same house. She didn't look up. Don't police my posture. It's a baseline, I insisted, my patience wearing thin. If we're roommates, say it. I'll price rooms. She finally lowered her phone, her eyes sparking. You want drama? I want peace. Why can't you just be easy? Because someone shook the table, I answered, and I'm not sweeping the pieces alone. She stood abruptly. I'm going to Pilates. Have a good class, I said, leaning back, the words sounding like a polite goodbye to a neighbor, not a wife. She paused, processed, then left. The air shifted around me. She'd heard the change. 2 days later, she showed up at my office, unannounced, with takeout and a photo-ready smile. Surprise, she chirped, setting boxes on my desk. Thought I'd feed my hard-working man. She tried to flirt. You don't like this place? I said, I can evolve. Try the chicken. She chatted about nothing, asked about my quarterly report like she actually cared. It looked like effort. It felt like PR. I ate, keeping my chair angled away from her, watching her watch my face like a coach watches a scoreboard. I miss us, she said, her voice soft. We've been off. I want to fix it. Then respect is the project, I told her, my eyes holding hers. Start there. She nodded, eyes damp, almost on command. Deal. Good, I said, and typed a sentence, letting her see I meant business. She left with a hug that lasted a beat too long. Second illusion. This one was just the trailer. That night, she asked, a little too casually, did you move the money? I saw the joint accounts were lower. I funded our bills, I answered. Everything else sits in my name. Yours sits in yours. Like we agreed. Her mouth was polite. Her eyes weren't. You love your rules. I love being able to track cause and effect, I retorted. She switched tones, a practiced maneuver. Are we going to Sarah's on Friday? Everyone's excited. We are, I said. I'll drive myself. You can ride with me, or not. She smiled, sweet as icing. I'll meet you there. Girls want to get ready together. She patted my chest twice. Wear something flattering. Don't embarrass me. I checked my watch. I'll wear what I own. She tossed her hair off her shoulder. Wear a jacket. I looked at her like a contractor looks at a crooked wall. You're not my stylist, Eleanor. Fine, she said, like she was doing me a favor. Keep it simple. Smiling helps. Friday morning, I sent 2 emails, called a banker, and took a long lunch. Then, I sat in a quiet conference room, signed a stack of papers, and put my marriage on a timeline. No judges in the room, just forms and a witness and my driver's license. When I walked back into the office, David looked up. "You look lighter." I told him. He whistled low. "You sure?" "Yes." "You tell her?" "Not yet. Timing matters." "You're cold." "No," I said, meeting his gaze. "I'm clear." He nodded. "If you need help moving anything, say it." "I don't ask questions," I replied. "I'll ask." I emailed Michael a copy of one document, then tapped the originals into the metal box in my desk drawer. That evening, I changed the safe pin at home, then cleaned out the glove compartment of my truck. Eleanor noticed nothing. She was busy with hair and nails for Sarah's rooftop party. At 10 o'clock, she came into the kitchen in a silk dress, doing a little twirl. "Do you like it?" "It's a dress," I said. "If you like it, wear it." She rolled her eyes. "Try not to sound like a mechanic on the phone." "I like being a mechanic," I shrugged. "Stuff breaks. I fix it." She picked up her clutch. "You break it, you fix it," she said softly, a line with teeth. Then she kissed my cheek and left with Jessica, her perfume trailing like a line you were supposed to follow. I didn't. I took a slow shower, chose a simple jacket just to be unpredictable, and drove myself. Sarah's rooftop was all glass, string lights, and people who love string lights. Sarah, tall and loud, hugged me a beat too long. "Where's your other half?" "On her way," I said, or still in the mirror. Michael appeared with a ginger ale, his face saying, "Watch your corners." David raised his cup from across the patio. I nodded at both. I liked witnesses. Eleanor arrived half an hour later with Jessica and 2 other friends who orbited drama like moths. She kissed everyone, skipped me, and slid into a circle near the bar. I joined a conversation with Ben from the office about baseball, which kept my mouth busy and my brain cool. Then the little dig started. Someone asked Eleanor how we met. She said, loud enough for me to hear, he was persistent. Like a subscription you forget to cancel. A couple chuckled. I finished my drink. Ben glanced at me. "You good?" "I'm excellent," I said, watching the rerun. Later, Sarah passed around cards for a couples game. Eleanor held ours and quipped, "He'll fail this. He thinks dates are a chore chart." I took the card gently from her hand and nodded at Sarah. "We're skipping this one. I'm bad at charades, good at exits." Sarah read my face and shrugged. "Whatever works." Eleanor leaned in. "Don't be weird." "Impossible," I told her. I was born interesting. I set the card on the table and walked to the rail to look at the skyline. David joined me. "She's poking," he said. "She thinks I'll swing," I replied. "I don't swing. I rewire the building." "Good," he said, "because Jessica's filming." Of course she was. I turned and gave the camera a pleasant, boring smile. Nothing for her feed. Jessica pouted and put the phone down. An hour later, Eleanor floated over with a 3rd drink and that syrupy voice she used when she wanted leverage. "You're stiff tonight." "I'm steady." "You keep making everything serious." "You keep trying to turn us into content," I said, my eyes locked on hers. "Hobbies." Her eyes cooled, then tried to loosen up. "No," I said, "how about you stop scoring points at my expense?" "Maybe earn some points then," she whispered, a challenge. I finished my ginger ale. "I'm not competing with you, Eleanor." "Then you're losing," she answered, and drifted away. She was smiling toward a cluster of friends, but her eyes were on me. She wanted a scene. When I didn't give it, she upped the ante. "Everyone," she called out, tapping a fork to a glass. "Quick toast." Conversations paused. She raised her glass, standing on a small step, loving the height. "To growth," she announced. "To not settling. To knowing when something's done." A few people murmured, "Here, here," because people love slogans. I waited. She looked right at me. "I'm leaving my husband," she announced, bright and clear as a sales pitch. "We're done. I'm done carrying dead weight." The patio froze, tight as a drumhead. Someone dropped a napkin. Michael's jaw was set. Jessica's smile was feral. I heard nothing else. That was the kill turn. The thing you don't walk back from. Here's the part one enjoyed. I laughed. It wasn't crazy or loud. It was a clean laugh, right from the center of my chest. Then I exhaled, like I'd put a heavy box down. "Thank you," I told her, and it was the first pure thanks I'd said in months. I was thinking how to tell you without being rude. "You saved me the trouble." Her mouth opened. People near her looked at me, then at her, then back to me, like they were switching channels. I picked up a beer from a nearby table. "Sarah's house, Sarah's rules," I said, raising it. "I filed Tuesday. Papers are signed. Accounts are separate. Bills will be paid. You'll get your copy." Eleanor blinked like I'd thrown water on a costume. "You what?" "Filed. It means we're in agreement." Apparently, the rooftop erupted. The way rooms do when the script flips. Michael barked a laugh he couldn't swallow. David clapped me on the shoulder. Sarah's eyebrows climbed to her hairline. Eleanor's voice got thin. "You're kidding." I shook my head. "No jokes. You said it first." "Good teamwork." Her friends tried to regroup around her. Jessica sputtered, he's performing." I looked at Jessica. "No. I'm exiting." I set the beer down, then picked it back up. "Actually, I'm taking this." I announced to the crowd, "I'm headed to Chris's bar down the street. First round's on me. Come if you want to celebrate clarity." The room broke into scattered laughter, the way a tightrope finally snaps. A dozen people cheered. A few more looked at their shoes, and the rest watched Eleanor for cues. She stammered something I couldn't hear over Sarah's quick, "Oh, wow," and Michael's, "Let's go." I walked to the elevator with my beer and my friends. The real ones peeled off from the crowd and followed. Eleanor shouted my name. I didn't turn. The doors closed. I grinned like a man who finally heard the engine catch. We didn't sleep that night. We talked trash about old baseball teams, argued about music, and made fun of our own bad habits. I thanked the bartender by name, tipped well. I didn't mention a single grievance about Eleanor, because I was done starring in that program. When the sun started thinking about the horizon, I paid the tab and went home. The house was quiet. Her side of the closet was empty. A few drawers open like gaping mouths. Glitter on the bathroom counter. A note? None. She took both sets of car keys. Classy. I sat on the edge of the bed and tied my shoes. That was my second best day. The week after felt like a well-organized shed. I switched autopay on the house utilities into my name only. I canceled the cleaning schedule she loved and bought a cheap vacuum. I told the lawn guy to keep coming. He shows up, does the work, doesn't make speeches. I cooked simple, shopped simple, and answered the door for nobody who wasn't on my calendar. Eleanor called twice. The phone lit the counter with her name. I let it go dark. Boundaries are strongest when they're quiet. Mutual friends sorted themselves out. Some texted to check on me. Some sent a raised hands emoji and a time for drinks. A few went silent, probably hoping to keep her version close. Fine. Pick a channel. At work, David leaned in my doorway, a grin on his face. You caused a rooftop to malfunction. I told the truth, I said. It made a weird noise. You free to help with a kitchen install Saturday? He asked. Keeps your hands busy. Good, I said. I like projects. We made a plan. 2 days later, Jessica cornered me in the grocery store near the pre-cut fruit. She folded her arms like she'd been waiting for a commercial break to end. You humiliated her, she accused. She did the honors herself, I replied, loading eggs into my cart. She thought you'd fight for her. She should have checked the schedule, I said, scanning the aisles. I had appointments. She frowned. You didn't even try. I tried respect, I answered. I tried rules. Then I tried leaving. I stepped around her cart. Try picking a better hobby than other people's marriages. You will regret this, she said, because people like Jessica need prophecies to feel important. I've regretted less useful things, I told her, and the look on her face made me smile all the way to the cereal aisle. A week after that, Michael texted a photo of my old driveway. An empty space where Eleanor's car used to be. Guess who was loading boxes, he wrote. Not her. New boy with opinions. I didn't answer. Not my business. I was too busy installing David's cabinets and listening to him rant about his HOA. He handed me a drill. I handed him a level. And the silence that comes from people who know what they're doing felt better than any speech Eleanor could have given. She tried one last maneuver. The following Thursday, I came home to find a casserole on the porch with a sticky note. You know, I never wanted it to end like this. Please talk. I opened the lid, and the smell hit me like a memory I didn't need. I carried it inside, plated a square, and ate it in silence. Good recipe. Not enough to buy stock in nostalgia. I washed the dish and set it back on the porch with a clean note, thank you for dinner. All communications by email. She called that night. I let it ring. Then I typed one email. Please send any logistics through my email. I deleted attorney's office in my head. Rules are cleaner when you don't flex them as threats. She replied, we need to divide the cars. I typed, take them both. Then. I'll arrange title transfer. I hit send. Her typing bubble blinked for a while and then vanished. The next morning, I met a tow driver and watched both cars leave my driveway. The noise was sweet. I took a rideshare to work and called a dealership from the parking lot, then hung up. I wasn't buying fast. I was buying right. Sarah met me for coffee that afternoon. She chose a corner table, talking softly. She thought you'd beg, she said, stirring a drink she didn't touch. The look on her face, I said. I saw it. She told me you made her feel small. I told her not to make me into an object, I replied. We both had rules. I kept mine. Sarah nodded slowly. People are picking sides. They can keep them, I said. I'm not running a campaign. She laughed once. You're colder than I thought. I'm not cold, I corrected. I'm done. She looked at me like a scientist looks at a clean result. You'll be okay. I already am. 2 months later, the divorce went through clean. She got both cars out of the split, hers by use, mine by title transfer. She could have dug harder. She didn't. My guess is she wanted fast more than full. She sold one, rented a place across town, and posted a photo of a potted plant and a lamp online, like independence looks like a magazine spread. Mutual friends drifted. Most stopped inviting her. The rooftop story followed her like a bell you can't unring. She called twice more from a new number I didn't save. I let both calls pass without answering. I don't traffic in recycling. My life right now? Simple. I work more, because I want to, not because I'm escaping. I go to Michael's on Saturdays and help him fix junk he buys just to fix. David and I have a standing Tuesday where we try new tacos and complain about nothing. I've started running the trail near the river, not because I want a medal, but because I like the quiet. There's a woman at the gym who nods when I walk in and doesn't ask for my story. That's ideal, for now. The house is calmer. I put dimmers on the kitchen lights, replaced the bathroom mirror, and finally fixed the door that always stuck in humid weather. Small wins. I wake up before my alarm, make coffee in a dented stainless pot, and leave a clean counter. Nobody is grading me. I like that. People ask if I miss her. I miss the idea of having someone in my corner. I didn't have that in the end. And no, I'm not angry. Anger's a tab you keep open to feel busy. I closed it. What did I learn? That respect is not a negotiation. You don't argue someone into valuing you. You demonstrate your standards and you enforce them. If they join you, good. If they mock you, you stop showing up for the performance. So, yeah. Thanks for listening. Maybe it made you laugh at my early optimism. I thought if I did more, we'd get better. Turns out you can mow a lawn that doesn't exist for a long time if you like the exercise. You want the epilogue? Here it is, straight. The divorce was quick. She walked away with both our cars, which was fair by the math we made. I slept well the night they left the driveway. Word is she sold one and moved to a smaller place across town. Most of our circle eased off inviting her after the rooftop. She reached out a couple of times. I didn't pick up. I don't owe anyone an encore. I'm good. I see my friends more. I'm making more at work because I actually like being there. I'm saving for a new car. Haven't decided what yet. Something that starts every morning and doesn't talk back. Which one would you pick? Anyway, take my story for what it's worth. Don't wait for a better audience. Walk off the stage and build your own room. It's quieter here, and the light stays on when you pay the bill yourself. What do you think about this story? Do you think I overreacted, or was I completely justified? Let me know in the comments below. I'm reading everything. And if you enjoyed this real-life journey, please drop a like and subscribe for more stories.